everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today with Planet Zoo, we're going to go ahead and look over the brand new update 1.0.3. Yeah, if you didn't hear, there's a brand new huge update, about 5.5 gigs update that released today that fixes over 400 things in the game. So 400 fixes and updates according to Frontier there. So all this came from the community over the last few weeks since the game has released, kind of giving feedback and crash reports and everything. So those of you that have been unfortunately getting those annoying crashes and then the reports that come up, thank you for doing that, because now the Frontier has the information to go ahead and fix again over 400 things they have fixed. So they've condensed it down a little bit. We're going to read over all of them, but the main thing we're going to really focus on is the Sandbox update. So those of you that are Sandbox players maybe haven't been too happy with the way that the Sandbox is in Planet Zoo. I'm with you there. It wasn't really a sandbox. It was more like a challenge mode with unlimited money. And what that means is just basically that we still had to worry about management, right? We still had to worry about power, water, guest happiness, staff happiness, some to an effect animal welfare and stuff like that. So again, it was just unlimited money, but it wasn't. You still had to do management stuff, and that's not what the Sandbox is about, obviously. So yeah, that was the biggest update, and that's the most that we're going to cover with this video here, is looking over the new Sandbox options for you Sandbox players there. So let's go ahead and we're going to read over the bullet points here, and then we'll kind of show how that affects the game there. So for the Sandbox, they added a series of new options to customize your play. They did power usage, water treatment, fence degradation, predation/fear, death by old age, staff happiness degradation, staff energy degradation, animal welfare needs, maximize guest happiness, freeze guest needs. Guest limit setting now added to Sandbox and Challenge Mode 2. That was in there before. Unlocked assets in scenarios when they are loaded in Sandbox in Challenge Mode. And fixed issues with assets grouped with guest entrances not being able to be deleted. So there was a lot there. I know we kind of went over it really quick, but we're going to kind of show off what that means, what they did. So the last bullet point they did there talks about the main entrance not being able to get rid of it. Beforehand, you could only get rid of about that much. Well, yeah, no, it's just the whole thing, but you can only get rid of where the park line was there. Now, we can select the whole thing and wha-bam! There it goes. The whole thing is gone pretty well, and you come in here and delete the paths. Now, I did notice one thing, that you can't delete these paths. I think that is not supposed to be a thing, so maybe we will get another small little update in the next few days. But yeah, for whatever reason, these are where your guest spawn points normally are. You can't delete them, and you'll see if we Control Z back and put the building back, I'll show you what I mean. Inside here, here's your guest spawn points. So once you delete them, underneath is a path, but unfortunately you can't get rid of that path. So you're kind of left here with, again, just kind of delete the building. There you go. So once you delete everything out there, you're still left with a little bit of the paths, but overall this is a lot better now. Now you can kind of put the entrance and spawn points wherever you'd like to. You could do that beforehand, but at least now you don't have to worry about guests kind of spawning over here. So, but if you want to cover it up, you can always just kind of throw some trees or something like that. Just kind of throw some trees in front of it there. Oh, you can't build that close to the map there. But yeah, anyways, you can kind of cover that up, and it's a lot better than last time there. So the other mentions that they had of the Sandbox mode, if you go into your settings here, and then go into settings in the pause menu, scroll over to your game. Now here you're going to see a bunch of fun little settings. If you haven't been over to this is where a lot of fun stuff is. You can disable scenery collision here, so you can kind of put things into each other. That sounded so bad, but... disable track collision, so you can put tracks through like terrain and scenery and buildings and all that fun stuff. Terrain collision, same thing, so you can put terrain through buildings and all that fun stuff. But here's the really good stuff. I'm gonna start going through here. So here, if you do your drop down menu for your current save settings, you'll come through here and you see that you can disable animal aging and birth, animal death, disable animal fights, animal illness, disable death through aging, animal welfare, animal predation and fear. So you can literally kind of customize it however you would want to. So I mean, for me, when my sandbox parks, I still would like to have, you know, generations of animals go through, but I don't always want to mess with the micromanaging of them kind of thing. So I might, you know, leave the animal, the death through aging, I'll leave that on, but maybe turn off other things that would have to do with a lot of micromanaging, since Planet Zoo is all about micromanaging. So, you know, so there's that. There's the guest settings here where we can kind of limit how many guests we want. Don't forget to actually check it. If you don't check it and you just do this, you'll have the max amount of guests kind of come in that can. So make sure you are checking that. Why this is important: if you are having issues with your frames dropping, if you're starting to build a bigger zoo and you're noticing that the game is starting to chug a little bit, starting to run slower, it is probably because of the guests. The guests eat up a heck load of memory and computing power in this game. So yeah, if you are running low on the frames and you want to sacrifice anything, I recommend bringing your guest count down to 500 or 1,000 even, and leaving it there. Yes, I know that's not that many people, and it will look a little bit sparse in bigger zoos, but you kind of have to sacrifice to have your frames still good kind of thing. That's just the way these kind of games go. The more stuff you add to this game, the more it has to process, the slower your computer is going to go. So maximize guest happiness and hold it there. Yes, so we're going to make them as happy as we can make them, and they're not going to care. Even if they don't have to eat, even if they don't poop, even if they don't drink, they're going to be like, I love this place. This is the best thing ever. Maximize guest energy, same thing. Guest education, so if you don't want to worry about it, the guest education, you don't have to. Why is this important? Let's say you want to have one big education center in the zoo. Like you have almost like a museum kind of thing in the zoo, and that's where you want your education to be, and you don't want to worry about every single exhibit having its own little education thing. Now you can kind of simulate that. Now you can kind of, you know, use your imagination kind of thing. Stop guests from becoming hungry, becoming thirsty, and needing the toilet. So there you go. So again, a lot of customization options there, where if you still want to deal with some things like them having to go to the bathroom but not having to eat, you can do that. So a lot of options. There's more options here than there were in Planet Coaster, just laying that out there. So disable staff choosing to quit, disable staff happiness degradation, disable staff energy degradation, disable barrier dilapidation. That's really cool. So you don't have to worry about barriers. You can get rid of your mechanics now. Power everything and keep the water clean. So that is really awesome. I love that because at least for me in designing my zoo, I wanted to have like one area, like one central area that was the power facility and the water facility, kind of like you see in real zoos and real places. That's kind of like what I was wanting to do, and so now you can kind of simulate that and do that there. So a lot of the sandbox options, again, you know, if you're playing sandbox mode, you're probably going in wanting to build something specifically and not want to worry about all the other management stuff. So it's again, it's a great thing that they've added in all of these options there. Now, if you're not a sandbox player and everything I mentioned, you're like, well, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to turn power? You know, maybe sandbox isn't for you. Maybe you like the management part, but for a lot of us, for these kind of games, we view it as you know, kind of Lego diorama sets basically. We just want to kind of build what we want while still having the animals and stuff like that in there. So that is the sandbox update there. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna read off the rest of the bullet points for the rest of the update there. The main bulk of it was definitely the sandbox implementation and then the general bug fixes there. But let's go and read over the rest of them there. So under facilities, they balance the water treatment facilities. They should now clean dirty water more effectively. Inspector, fixed bug with the inspector incorrectly reporting dehydrated and starving animals. That's good. I've actually seen that. Animals. Fixed animals being able to dehydrate whilst swimming. Oh my gosh, that was always like the funniest and saddest thing ever when someone would post a screenshot on Facebook of an animal in a lake that died of dehydration. You're just like, something doesn't compute. Fixed bug when canceling an animal move from vet surgery, which could cause the animal to become stuck. Fixed a bug whereby small animals navigating over scenery could end up inside of it. Awkward. Fixed issue where animals could become stuck in vet surgery when player cancels moving them whilst they are receiving treatment. Awkward. Balance exhibit animal defecation rates. Oh, good. Did anyone see the bear? Oh, there was a bear. There was a grizzly bear on Reddit a few days ago that it pooped a lot. That's the whole story. Various animations, fixes, and polish. Fixed issue when entering and exiting Ansel. Ansel is the photo editing software that a lot of us use in-game. If you want to know if you have that, it is Alt F2 together. You'll know if you have that. Whilst in orbit camera, the camera could relocate to a distant point. Feeders. Suspended high grazer occupancy increased from 1 to 4 animals. That's good. Staff. Fixed bug with small barrel feeder, which could cause the keeper to flip upside down when refilling it. I didn't have that bug, and I wish I did. That should just be a feature. Why would they fix that? That sounds amazing. Added staff thought for staff that can't reach their work zone. Fixed further staff animation issues. Fix for a vendor becoming stuck when undoing deletion of a shop. Interesting. Guess. Fix protesters and some guests in queues not fleeing escaped animals. Well, the protesters aren't fleeing escaped animals. That's kind of okay, in my opinion. Fixed bug causing guests to sometimes pop in the air whilst walking. See, that's an awesome bug. I love those kind of bugs. Those are great. Scenarios. Updated the layout of Scenario 4, adding staff buildings, staff, and path layout, and lowered objective requirements. Updated work zones in Scenario 5 and reduced gold objective requirements. Further balancing of Scenario 7. There you go. The UI. Fixed further instance that could cause pressing X to stop toggling between rotate and movement modes. Oh my gosh, thank you. I hope X is actually fixed. That is the most annoying bug in the world. Added notifications for keepers in work zones which don't contain exhibits or habitats. Fixed release to wild option being available on animal info panel for animals that have been bought for cash. Fixed bug causing the time/weather UI close X button to become unresponsive. Yep, the X button was bad. Fixed issue where navigable area would not update on an animal's info panel whilst it was climbing. Fixed bug where typing in the loan repayment amount was being reset to lowest payments. Reduced amount of notifications for exhibit animals mating. Oh, thank God, because if I had to see another frog gave birth notification, I was gonna freak out. Added option to hide blueprints in browser categories. Updated, oh cool, okay, let's show that real quick, because that is awesome. So if you go to your construction tab here, typically when you do it, did I already check it? I didn't. Typically when you do it, you'll be scrolling through and blueprints will just randomly show up. Normally that's not that big a deal really, but if you're kind of going through and wanting to do stuff like just having blueprints scattered throughout, kind of sucks. It gets in the way. So now you can go in here and just turn blueprints off or have blueprints only, which is really nice. Now, Planet Coaster, I kind of wish they would just do this. We had an entire, oh, they do have this. Yeah, before we just had a blueprints page, and that's where our blueprints would be, and they wouldn't kind of tie it in with the construction and stuff. I'm not sure why they changed that, but it's a little bit convoluted. But yeah, let's look at the rest of the updates there. Updated sort setting and various UI to be retained when switching between tabs. Fixed bug when selecting certain areas of the globe in the front end could cause the globe to flip upside down. Fixed missing call mechanic button on transport station info panel. Fixed bug with send to storage button sometimes being inactive in animal info panel. Fixed misreporting of food costs on habitat info panel. All right, there's just a few more here. So it looks like franchise mode, added fanfare for community challenge rewards. What's that mean? It sounds cool. Editing, improved performance when moving train via multi-select button. Oh, interesting. Bins and donation boxes should now be easier to place in undulating terrain. Ah, haha, still trying to do the path and terrain fixes. Avatars, fix missing torso when using avatar costumes on slim female avatars. Oh no. Audio, various bug fixes and polish, including added new ambient music tracks. Oh, cool, I'll have to look at those. Tweak the ew reaction behavior to pooping, added a submix for headphones/stereo, more crowd variations and individual reactions, UI mix pass and additional audio, fixed an issue with ambient speakers self-obstructing and muffling the sound, more variations to animal sounds. So that is the bulk of the update there for Planet Zoo there. Like I said, it's about 5.5 gigs, give or take. So it is a big one there. And as you can see from reading off everything, it has a lot in it. So there you go. Have you all updated your game yet? What do you think of the new Sandbox options there? Let me know down below. What else would you like to see? Was there some more options that you would like to see for these Sandbox options or just options in general for Planet Zoo? Love to know what's on your mind there. So, hey, thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out. And yeah, until the next Planet Zoo video there, have a good one.